I found this paste bin full of hallucination tutorials in my favorites, bro. I don't even know how I came across that. I don't remember how I found it, but it was just it was like a bunch of links on tutorials teaching you how to hallucinate, right? And it was all ranked by tiers. So clearly the person who made this paste bin was like obsessed with fucking hallucinations and trying to hallucinate at will. And they made a whole list of these tutorials. They were obsessed with it as me, right? And I don't remember how I came across this, but I saw on the highest tier was this website called navaching.com. Apparently this was like the best website for teaching you how to have hallucinations at will. And remember, when I talk about trying to hallucinate, I'm not talking about good fucking visualization in your head, bro. I'm talking about actually seeing things behind your closed eyelids. And in future, when you get really good at it, being able to look anywhere and just seeing anything you want, bro. But anyways, this top website was called navaching.com. It was some shitty website from the 2000s, although I guess they all were kind of basic back then, right? And the title of this page was Micro Meditation. And according to the person who got all these links, this was like the best tutorial or best exercise for hallucinating, right? And this micro meditation, what it is it's you looking at an image. So it had like a couple images, a circle across, right? You look at an image like that on the website, then you close your eyes and you will see the after image. I'm seeing fucking after images when I'm closing my eyes now. I'll get into that. But no, you see the after image of the thing you were just looking at, and your goal is to retain this after image indefinitely. And so at first, it will just be the after image, which you will get instantly, right? But then once you keep focusing on that image behind your closed eyelids of the circle, you will be able to retain it longer and longer and longer. And when you're able to do that, it stops becoming an after image and it starts being you kind of like being able to override the signals being sent to your visual cortex. And it's you being able to create an image at will, basically, from your short-term memory. So this is kind of the basis of all Prophantasia tutorials. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Prophantasia is like being able to have closed eye hallucinations. It's like a step up from vivid visualization in your mind's eye, right? Which is just like seeing shit in your head. This tutorial starts getting you to hallucinate things with your real eyes, right? And after you do this, of course, that's just the first step. When you're able to retain the image forever, if you wanted, of this after image on the website or this image on the website, then you will be able to look at anything, like your hand, for example, and you'll be able to close your eyes and retain an image of your hand. And then when you can do that with any object, right, you'll be able to like move it around in your fucking mind. And then once you get that down, you'll be able to create a hallucination of anything you want, bro, anything you want without having to look at anything. So nah, you can always like, you can already imagine the fucking mischief we're gonna get off to with this, bro. But no, I've been so obsessed with this hallucination shit, and I was reading this website. I won't waste your time anymore. Oh my god, I'll just stop talking and actually explain the technique. But it started talking about, also it does mention it's good for visualization and lucid dreaming abilities as well. So this micro meditation that you do 10-20 minutes every day, really quick results, it will improve your visualization and lucid dreaming. And it starts off by talking about Pythagoras. You know, the mathematician guy, ancient Greece or whatever the fuck he was from, wherever the fuck he's from, I don't know. He was talking about how Pythagoras, or whoever he was, created a secret order called the Pythagorean order or some shit. And this was like a cultish order, and they had all these secrets, and they had strict secrecy and loyalty, but some of their fucking like things started leaking out, like their exercises leaked out to the public or something. And this micro meditation hallucination thing was apparently one of these things that got leaked out. So they were kind of making the exercise sound more dramatic. I mean, I'm not sure about that. It's literally just like looking at an after image, bro. It's literally just looking at a fucking circle and holding the after image in your mind forever. So I don't know why a secret order had to come up with that, but whatever. But yeah, let's just get to the point. So they had 3 images on the website, but only 2 of them you were able to look at because like the third one was deleted or some shit because it was from ages ago. I may put the image up so you can see. All you have to do to do the exercise, long story short, is you need to look at this image. You need to look at the center dot. I just did it on my computer. You can print the image out, whatever, make sure it's well lit. Look at the center of the image and focus on it for a whole breath. And then close your eyes and you will see an after image in your head. This is different from the other hallucination tutorials I've talked about, where it's kind of like you need to make something at will, or you need to kind of wait for something to appear in your mind, bro. This is not like that. Look at the fucking image, bro, and close your eyes. You will just see something in your head automatically. No extra work from you. The only thing you need to focus on now is passively retaining this after image. Now, I can't really describe how to do that, but it's not difficult. It's kind of like me telling you how to move your hand. I can't really describe that. You're just moving a muscle. But over time, it will kind of seem like the after image keeps staying in your brain for maybe like 3 seconds or some shit like that. But after a while, you will notice you keep doing it longer and longer and longer, until the after image, you can just keep retaining it in your mind. Now, you need to do this every day. Do it 10-20 minutes at a time, but be careful, okay? Because I actually unintentionally got fucking obsessed with this, bro. Like, I started doing it like 4 or 5 days ago, right? Sorry, I'm talking so quickly. I started doing it, and at first I was like, oh, Navaching meditation. This is some fun little thing. I'll just look at the after image, blah, blah. I'll do some experimenting so I can tell you, right? But then I was like, no, I need to keep the after image in my mind, bro. I need to keep it in my mind. And I became so fucking obsessed with it that I was not doing it 10-20 minutes at a time, bro. I was sitting there for like an hour, fucking opening, closing my eyes, looking at this after image and trying to retain it longer and longer and longer, because I needed to retain it for fucking ever, bro, and be able to hallucinate. And I will say, sometimes I was focusing on it so hard that I was getting kind of dizzy and getting vertigo or some shit like that. And there was also a time, this was like 2 nights ago, right? I woke up in the middle of the night. My first thought was not like, I need to go back to sleep. My first thought was, I need to see the circle. I need to see the circle, bro, in my mind, without even looking at the image on the website. I wanted to try and hallucinate the after image and make it appear in my mind, because I felt like I had such like good training at that point that I could do it. So I started straining myself to see a circle, and indeed, after like 3 fucking minutes of straining myself, I saw a circle, like a blue circle, just pop up behind my closed eyelids in the darkness, bro, without even having to look at the website. So you will notice results from this shit. Of course, you're probably not going to be as obsessed with it as I am, because like I just sit in my room all day and like try and do hallucination tutorials and I'll lucid dream and just do like retarded shit. But just be careful, because I have actually read about people losing consciousness from doing all this hallucination shit, and imposition as well. It's called imposition. But anyways, long story short, just look at the after image, okay? Just proceed with caution, but look at the image on the site. Close your eyes, retain the after image. After a while, you will get better and better at retaining it for longer and longer. And you should be able to do it eventually, kind of without even looking at the image. Let me take some water. Let me get some water. I mean, not take some water. And talk about something else which links in with this. Because on the Navaching website, also, interesting website. I couldn't find much more information on it. And the whole point of this website was training to be something called a Hawkeen. And there were actually a lot more tutorials, shit about night walking and all this other weird crap on the website that I can't even explain because it was really complicated. In fact, this micro meditation about hallucinating was the least complex thing on the website, bro. All the other shit was so fucking weird, and it was training to be a Hawkeen, as I said. And the Hawkeen was some fictional guild from a book called The Structure of Delight. And I didn't really understand what the book was about. I didn't really get it, but basically the training on this website was about a fictional guild, but like at the same time the training was real. I don't know if the person who wrote this Structure of Delight book made the fucking website or some shit. It was really weird. And when there's a website actually called, I think, Hawkeen.com now, and it kind of just looks like a coaching thing or some shit. So it kind of has lost all its aura, bro. It's lost its aura. It was all about like secret cult and shit before. Now the website is just like about paid coaching or some shit. But what I was going to talk about, linking in with this, because after you finish the meditation and you're able to retain these images in your mind for a long time, where do we go from there, right? Because you're probably going to be able to do that fairly quickly, like maybe within a couple weeks, right, of doing it every day if you're like obsessed with it as I am. Where do you go from there? You can go from there to Scythix's fucking post on dreamviews.com. Now, I don't know if you know Scythix, bro. I don't know if you listened to me talk about reverse blinking. It was a whole sleep method on dreamviews.com, that lucid dreaming website. And this guy Scythix basically wrote tutorials on how to lucid dream on Dreamviews, and he also wrote tutorials on how to improve your visualization and hallucination skills, right? And one of his tutorials links in perfectly with this Navaching hallucination training, because Scythix had a post on teaching you how to hallucinate, and it basically started the same as the Navaching thing, right? It was like, look at these images, close your eyes, try and retain the after image in your head. And Scythix was saying the whole thing about hallucinating anything you want was just about belief. And he said these first exercises where you just look at an image and retain the after image, he said that was just about getting you into the mindset that you can hallucinate anything you want and that you can see anything you want behind your closed eyelids, right? And so that was his whole thing. And then what do you do after that? Scythix says after you're able to reliably retain an after image from a shape, you should start staring at your hand, okay? I'm yapping so bad, but after that, you should start staring at your hand when you get the Navaching meditation down, and then close your eyes and try and see your hand behind your closed eyelids. Of course, this is much more difficult than like just seeing a simple shape, but after you are able to see your hand behind your closed eyelids, then you can move on to any other object. Then you can look at a ball or look at a water bottle or some shit, look at anything and retain that image behind your closed eyelids. And then the next step up from that is making it move, right? Sorry, this is getting kind of complex, but making it move. And Scythix said to do this, when you see the after image of your hand or whatever in your mind, also see it in your imagination at the same time, and then try and make it move in your imagination. And then after a while of practicing that, you should be able to see it move behind your fucking closed eyelids. Sorry, I'm yapping so bad. I haven't got up to that part, obviously. I'm still focusing on the Navaching meditation of just seeing the after images of the simple shapes. But that's interesting. And then he says the step up from that is being able to close your eyes and see after images of more complex things, like the corner of your room or a whole door or whatever. And then the step up from that is being able to fucking hallucinate anything you want behind your closed eyelids, because you can now just create after images at will, right? They're not really after images. It's literally you. I'm stuttering. It's literally you fucking overriding the nerves or the signals getting sent to the visual cortex nerves or whatever, like I talked about. Anyways, enough about that. Another interesting thing that was in this paste bin on the highest tier of hallucination tutorials was this study, actually, which is interesting because there's not really any studies about this hallucination shit, and I guess it wasn't really an official study. It was more of an informal thing from 1894, I think. Where was that from? 1894? 1894, yeah. And this was by a guy called George Trumbull Ladd, and it was called Direct Control of the Retinal Field. And this George Trumbull Ladd guy, he realized that he could like control the colors and the static you see behind your closed eyelids, and he could make it into any shape he wanted, and he could see circles and crosses and whatever. And he kind of realized this unintentionally, actually, when he was like doing something else and doing something different. He realized he could control the shit behind his closed eyelids, and so he went to 16 students. I think he was at Yale University, but I think he mentioned talking to like Stanford students and shit. He went to 16 of these and asked them to see if they could create circles and crosses and control the colors behind their closed eyelids because he wanted to see if this power was common or if it was just a fluke, something he could do. Because he also said when he started hallucinating, he could rapidly increase his power in this, and soon he was able to create really vivid circles and crosses, right? This is so interesting because no one else has done any studies on this like hallucination shit, because why would they? Like, what fucking use is that to anyone except if you're just like schizo like me and just want to hallucinate anything you want? So anyways, he got 16 students to do this, completely normal people. They'd never done it before. What were the results? Because I can't do math. So of the 16, 9 had a partial success, which increased with practice. So those 9 are just us average people who may have like had trouble at first, but then with continued practice, they were able to control the static behind their closed eyelids and see circles, crosses, and shit. 3 had phenomenal success. So 3 of them were able to create like really, really vivid colors and control the shit behind their eyelids really vividly with not much effort. And only 4 reported no success at all. But George Trumbull Ladd did say, out of the 4 that reported no success, only 1 of them tried the experiment persistently. So, the fact of the matter is, bro, the fact of the matter is, if you really want to hallucinate, if you really want this shit, bro, you can. You just gotta try hard. You gotta try hard. And this experiment is interesting because they were not looking at images of shapes. They were just closing their eyes like fucking chads and trying to create the images and the circles and crosses without doing anything else. They weren't even generating after images. So that goes to show you could actually create these images behind your closed eyelids without any kind of, I don't know what the word is, without any like prompts or whatever, or any examples before that. You could do it. A lot of them said it kind of appeared in their vision instantly after 3 to 5 minutes of try-harding. I did see there was one woman who didn't get anything for 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, she sat with her eyes closed, trying to see like a circle. Nothing happened. And then as soon as she was about to give up, a circle just appeared in her vision. It's like that diamond meme, you know that meme where the guy's like mining and he's about to reach the diamonds, but he just like gives up. You know what I'm saying? Before he reaches the diamond, it's like that, bro. You gotta keep going. But no, I'm totally not recommending this, alright? Because I don't want you to lose consciousness. I remember reading about, I don't remember who this was. There was someone trying to hallucinate, and they woke up with a fucking nosebleed or some shit. They woke up with a nosebleed and like lost consciousness because they were try-harding so much. So definitely do not do that. But if you do this, let us know your results in the Discord, okay? I mean, actually, no, do not join the Discord. Unsubscribe from me. Leave me in comment. I think I've been yapping enough. Okay, goodbye. I love you. I love you. More live streams coming soon, actually. I haven't done that in ages, but I will. Goodbye.